What's going on YouTube? It's Brendan from Market Makers. What a crazy last 48 hours. What a crazy last couple of weeks, right? You guys have been watching this channel. You've seen this TA unfold just amazingly to the T. And what happened, guys? Well, we broke our double top here on the daily on Bitcoin, but really the story starts before that. As you guys know that have been watching this channel, we talked about the Russell. We talked about the Russell being below the 233, not being able to climb above the 233, and I told you Bitcoin would not be able to move up if the Russell can't move up. The Russell has a head and shoulders. It broke its head and shoulders. The NASDAQ had the same exact formation as Bitcoin, and that declined as well. Looking at the NASDAQ, here's the exact same formation that we had. I think this is still from yesterday. So we had our M pattern here, just like Bitcoin. We have the 200 above us, and we have the 233 beneath us. The NASDAQ was down over 400 points at one point today. It finished up minus 365. It is down 5% over the last 2 days, notably below the 233, breaking our GAN 45 angle as well. What does this mean for Bitcoin? Well, guys, before we jump into the Bitcoin TA, let's talk about market cycles. And this is relevant. I'll tie it together for you. It's going to be a little bit of a pop quiz for you, okay? Let's pull this in. Let's go back to the beginning of the bull run. I want to show you guys something and get your judgment on this, okay? So let me draw a line. You guys tell me what this is. What would you call this price descension or ascension here in Bitcoin? If you said bull run, you are correct. Now here's the tricky part. What is this area down here? If you said bear market, you are correct. Now, in the crypto space, which is unique in that most of the people that trade crypto, or at least a lot of people that trade crypto that do TA, they don't trade other marketplaces. They said, nope, this is still part of the bull run. And they said, look, see, told you it's still part of the bull run. And they still say this is part of the bull run. This is not how financial markets work. And let me explain to you why it's relevant, okay? It's relevant because when the large operators start a campaign of price ascension, a bull run in a market, these are the financial institutions, the hedge funds, price behaves in certain ways that you can track via Wyckoff, okay? So you need to understand where you are in the marketplace. This is a bear market. A bear market has a definition. That definition is minus 20% price decline for a period of 2 months or more. This was over 50%. So then you exit your bear market back into a bull market. Again, you go to distribution, and then what happens, guys? Minus 50% price decline. Currently, you are minus 30%. You are in a bear market. Again, relevant because a bear market has certain behaviors and characteristics that will enable you to make smarter decisions with your money and trading if you know where you stand in the market cycle. Lots of books written on this. I highly recommend Dow Theory by Charles Dow. Bear market has 3 cycles. Initial price decline. You have your relief rally. The bear comes out multiple times on multiple relief rallies to maul you again, and you potentially descend further if market euphoria and greed does not return to the market. So let's go ahead and zoom back in. Again, the reason this is relevant is not only are we able to track this, not only were we able to predict this, as you guys saw the thumbnails with the bear market rally, is there's so many people in this space, guys, over 2/3, according to the data, of people that own crypto, it's actually 70% are negative. They're negative because they're holding, and they think when people say 200K, 500K, I got a fractal from 2013, Bitcoin's going to $1 million, they never end up letting it go. Now, if you have a long-term investment strategy, that's fantastic. But for a lot of people, we get these people that join every single day. Remember, I started my room, my Discord channel, June 2021, with just a dozen people. Now there's 6,000 people there. Every single day I hear the same story. I bought back here. I bought on this run up here. I thought, oh, this is great. And then the price declined, but I didn't think about it because everybody said it was going to go back up again. Will it go back up? That's the real question, right? But the correct way to view the market, especially if you're just entering the market, is view it in segments. And right now you have the unique benefit of knowing we have key resistance above us and we have key support beneath us, and we need to see which way the price goes. You use this with confluence of TA to understand where you are in the marketplace, okay? So my macro theory that has been playing out so far to a T is I told you the large financial institutions are going to utilize the month of April to reallocate their billions and billions in assets out of growth into value because we have the Fed meeting coming up the first week of May, a 0.5 basis point rate hike that will affect the money supply that will affect the ability of these high growth companies that make no money to be able to borrow money. Okay, so my macro theory is May and April will end up being very bearish. Traditionally, they are very bullish, but remember, when you say traditionally, this is the longest stock market bull run in the history of the stock market. This bear rally that we had in the equities market is the third strongest bear rally in the history of the stock market, which makes sense coming off the longest bull run in the history of the stock market. So we are in a bear market. The price is going to behave in bearish behavioral ways that can be tracked via Wyckoff, via different theories. Okay, so this is something you need to pay attention to. When are you back into a bull run? When you can move up, flip the previous all-time high, use it as support, and make a new all-time high. That is the next bull run. Until then, you are in a bear market. So understand that, because what you're going to do is have relief rallies, get mauled by the bear, and price can decline. And when you're looking at this, you're probably thinking, but Brendan, price really didn't go down that much comparatively, right? I mean, it fell, but Bitcoin does this all the time. Bitcoin goes up and down 10, 20% all the time. Okay, all of that's true. The macro trend, though, guys, is down. When you zoom out to the larger time frame, weekly time frame, you now have a weekly bearish engulfing candle. Okay, you are down. Even right now, you're down 30% off your previous all-time high. Could you come back up? Of course you could, but it would take a lot of euphoria in the marketplace with 40-year high inflation. I just don't see it happening. So I believe the bias is the downside. Okay, so just be aware of that as you're investing / trading in the marketplace. One thing you need to pay very close attention to, I'll make a video about it down the road or maybe tomorrow, but everything boils down to this. What am I pointing at? The 233. This is the retest area, and this is at, what is this price at right now? 44.8. I want to see Bitcoin come back up and test that. And if you guys watch this channel, you'll understand why. Because if you go back to June, just go back to June. This caused a massive avalanche in price on a retest of the 233 in a bear market. This is how I was able to trade this area so successfully for my largest trade when I first came to crypto was right here. Okay, this is right when we started our room. We pumped up above the 233. We have our peak here, and this candle right here, this was, I guess, what, the following day after the initial decline, so this would be tomorrow, but that's if it completed the same exact pattern. This candle wicked back up to test the 233, got rejected, 12,500 point price descension, a 30% move in the market. That's what I'm looking for right now to see if Bitcoin does that, because that will be the big dump, okay? If it does do this. If it gets rejected hard from the 233 once again, it's going to decline and it could be a much larger move. So that's what you need to pay attention to. For me, it's all about the retest and seeing if we can successfully flip the 233 or if we're going to go down. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the 8-hour time frame. I can see this a little bit better. Where did price fall to? We're going to look at support and resistance, guys, don't worry. Price fell to the dollar to the magical 233 EMA on the 8-hour time frame. When will you see much steeper price declines? Again, after a potential retest and or losing the 233 144 on your smaller time frames, your 8-hour, your 4-hour, your 1 hour. If those two events happen, you may get the retest and then it propels you through these if you are rejected, and that could be your steeper price decline. But right now, this is a key support area on the 8-hour, the 4-hour. So this is what's holding up price. Now, guys, the last couple of videos, we've been talking about this, setting up this trade. You had the macro double top. This is obviously very clear. But within this, and this is the 8-hour time frame, so it's not as clear, but we had the micro double top that you saw in the 4-hour time frame, right? So we had the micro and the macro, and where we are now is you have your Wyckoff trading ceiling, Wyckoff trading base, Wyckoff selling climax candle. We had our range, we had our up thrust outside of our range. These are shorting opportunities, and this last one was a butte. We fell through our GAN 45 angle, signaling a bearish trend, and now we are making down thrust just outside the Wyckoff range. So what's next? The next step would be a rebound from this down thrust, okay? A small sign of strength. And the key here is determining where could this go to? Could this be momentous sign of strength? Sure, it could. What's the likelihood? Well, let's do a couple of things here. Let's go ahead and throw a retracement on and get some ideas of where we're looking at for resistance. So this is my GAN retracement. As you can see, it has more levels. Now the fibs line, or the GAN retracement numbers line up very closely to fibs. The 375 is like your 382. The 0.5 is the same. The 625 is basically the 618. These are AFEs. These are GAN retracement AFEs, okay? So what I'm looking at here is for price to come back up. Now, where would it come to? How do you know which one it would come to? What's the likelihood? Well, a couple different things you can do. The first thing I want to do, again, see where that 233 is on the daily. Remember, looking at the larger, more powerful time frame, 44.8. Now keep in mind this will be descending. The 144 is at 44.4. So 44.8, 44.4, where does that put us in the retracement level? Puts us right between the 0.25 and the 0.375. Okay, so that's 44,425 and 45K. So what the first test for Bitcoin is to come up, come into this range and flip the 375, which is like your 382. It needs to flip that 382. That means you're above the 233 in the daily. Because if it gets rejected, again, you could be looking at a propulsion move down, losing your key support level, falling down even harder to a new accumulation box, which would mean this box is flipping to distribution and price is descending, okay? Remember, Wyckoff theory, guys. You have accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown, back to accumulation. If you lose that accumulation box, it flips to distribution and you go further down to accumulate at a new lower level. A couple of good things here. Like I said, you do have a nice demand wick off this down thrust, showing there is some demand here from retail. I want to see them push this price up. If we flip 45K, that is a bullish micro event, okay? Can we do it? I mean, for me, as you guys know, because of my theory about what's happening in the markets, I want to see what the equities markets do when they open up tomorrow. If they're red again today, no, I don't think we're flipping it. Could we ascend to it? Yeah, we could. But the likelihood, if the markets just dump in pre-markets and they continue to dump tomorrow, the likelihood is just to fall down, okay? To be 100% clear here and transparent. The likelihood is you would just fall down. If the markets have the same day they had today, if they have that tomorrow, Bitcoin's probably not going to retest anything. Now tonight, because this is a 24-hour market, if Bitcoin comes up, if the markets are kind of flat tomorrow or maybe get back some of their losses and they kind of stabilize, you can see Bitcoin drift back up. And that's the first key test. So just be very well aware of that key test, okay? When you look at this on the 1 hour time frame, much more dramatic. But you can see this. You have your selling climax candle. We had our Wyckoff trading range here, just a series of up thrusts, and then we just fell apart, right? And we're accumulating back down here at this lower level. And this is what we're trying to do now. Let's go ahead and flip over to Ethereum. Ethereum had a beautiful Fibonacci pattern here. As you guys know, we talked about the shapes being made on the different alts. I told you this could be traded as a double top. Your double top is right here, and your neckline, you essentially broke your neckline, I think, right there. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, you kind of broke it, but you're finding support in your 144,233, okay? So if you lose your 144,233, which will happen if Bitcoin does descend further, then again, you would have further price decline, be breaking through your 45 angle, and you need to keep an eye on Ethereum to make sure it can stay above these EMAs here on the daily time frame. But again, everything's tied to Bitcoin. Solana, same thing. If Bitcoin does get more bullish, if Bitcoin does start moving up, then Solana could possibly, once Bitcoin finds resistance, do this type of move where you have the first M of your double top and roll up some, right? This is what I expect Bitcoin to do. Roll up some and then roll down, and then you have your double top neckline, which is basically your 144 and 233. Like I said, all of these alts come down to test a 144, 233, okay? A key support level. And if they roll over and lose it, again, further descension. Where would Solana go? Even without looking at targets, guys, you can do this just by visually looking. Where's your candle clusters? Down in this area. Well, that's a bad line. Down in this area is where most likely Solana would fall back into the chop. And if it gets really weak, it's going down even further, okay? So not to make this video overly bearish, but guys, key bearish events happened today, okay? Severe bear market rally, third strongest of all time. They all met severe resistance at the 200 moving average, at the 233s, and they all were rejected. Bitcoin tried to hold it above the 233 and fell down. So this is a bearish trend now. Be very well aware of it because hopefully we get a back test. And for people that want Bitcoin to go up, hopefully we flip it and hopefully we can move the price up. That would be great. But just keep in mind the macro events in the space. And keep in mind your weekly bearish engulfing candle. Obviously, this candle is still open, but I see potentially a strong bias for more downside for Bitcoin. But we will see, and time will tell. Again, view the market in segments. Next time I'm going to make the video tomorrow, maybe Bitcoin does this while I'm sleeping or something, and you're like, oh, look, we're right back where we were. Could be great. Likelihood of it, again, TA is all about probabilities. I don't think it's a strong probability. I would be very surprised, to be honest with you, if we can get up to the 625 at 46,332. I would be very surprised. If we do, that means we're back above the 233 on the daily, which again is a micro bullish event. Guys, go ahead and check out our website, our marketmakers.trade. That link is in the video description, or just type it in your computer. You can join our Discord, trade these markets, get the education from professional traders, and try to make some profit in these markets. Love to see you guys there. It's a fantastic community. And our link to BitGet as well, where we trade crypto. They have a big tournament going on for 200 Bitcoin. You can join that through our link. And that's it, guys. Till tomorrow's video. Talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody.